In this video, I'm going to give you guys a step-by-step guide on how to sell books on Amazon in the year 2024. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tanner, aka the Junk Flipper. I guess that's what I'm going by right now. I don't know what else to call myself. I thought it was pretty clever. I'm flipping items that people think is junk for profit, like books, DVDs, and CDs. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications so you can get updated on all future tricks, tips, and strategies for selling books and media on Amazon. So I put out a few videos on my channel, and I just want to take it back a little bit with this video and just start with the basics. So first off, why even sell books on Amazon in the first place? Well, in my humble opinion, selling books on Amazon is like one of the easiest entry points to selling on Amazon in the first place. There's a bunch of other products that you can start selling on Amazon, but there's this thing called gating, and there's a lot of brands out there that you're gated on immediately as a new seller, and it's very hard to sell products like Nike, Nintendo, grocery items, and a bunch of other items that big Amazon sellers are selling frequently. Books are more so evergreen products. People are always buying books for educational purposes, self-help, entertainment, fiction, you know what I mean? Like, there's books for everything in life. And the margins that you can get from selling books on Amazon is incredible. I'm pretty sure Amazon started as a platform selling books before anything else. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what they started as. Jeff Bezos, don't kill me if I'm wrong. But it's not uncommon to find books for $1, $2, $3 and flip them for $20, $30, $40, $50 to $100 on Amazon. And as you guys know, Amazon is the #1 marketplace in the world for buying, any type of product, but mostly books. And in 2024, the market is as strong as ever on Amazon for readers trying to find their next good read or add into their collection, or like I said, buying a textbook for college. There's tons of different books out there that are profitable, and yeah, it's just a very easy way to get started in reselling if you want to move on to other products one day. So step #1 to get started selling on Amazon would be to actually set up an Amazon seller account. There's two different types of accounts you can have. You can have an individual seller account, or you can have an Amazon professional selling account. The individual seller account is more so for beginners just getting started. If you want to dip your toes in and see if this is actually for you, Amazon charges you 99 cents per item sold with the individual selling account. With a professional selling account, Amazon charges you $40 a month for unlimited units that you sell. So let's say you sell 100 books. As an individual seller, you'll pay $100 because you sold 100 books. But if you're a professional seller and you sell 100 books, you're still only going to pay that $40 monthly. So if you're serious about selling on Amazon and you're starting to do a lot of volume, I would definitely consider upgrading to the professional account so you're not wasting money. Start with the individual account, and then as you scale, upgrade to the professional account. It's a little bit harder to actually set up your Amazon account compared to like eBay or other marketplaces. Amazon does a really good job of vetting their sellers and making sure you're actually serious about selling. So you'll end up getting this letter in the mail with like a 6-digit code to make sure that you are who you say you are, and you might have to hop on like a 2-minute Zoom call to verify your driver's license with who you are and what you actually look like. It usually takes like a week or two before you actually get your seller account up and running. But once you do and you're all verified, then you're ready to sell your first book. So step #2 would be actually finding books to list and sell onto Amazon. So like I said, books can be very, very profitable, and the main places that people start out going to actually find books to sell would be thrift stores, where you can pick books up for $1, $2, $3. You can go to library sales and pick up books for $1, $2. You can look on Facebook Marketplace. There's usually people selling in bulk. You can go to local college campuses and find people that have textbooks, or join Facebook groups in local college communities to find undervalued textbooks to flip back onto Amazon. There's a variety of places that you can go to find books, but how do you know what book is profitable? I would say 5 out of every 100 books you scan. So there's over 100 million books that are on the Amazon marketplace that you can list and sell. But obviously not every single one of those books are going to be profitable. So knowing how to tell if a book is actually profitable is going to be key to your success. So I highly recommend getting a scouting app like Scout IQ or Scoutly. I personally use Scoutly because it's like the same app and it's $10 less. If you guys want to check out Scoutly, I have a link in my description where you can get a 30-day free trial to try it out. But what you can do in these scouting apps is essentially you can set up parameters and triggers to where when you're scanning these barcodes on books really quickly with a barcode scanner, which by the way, I recommend getting one of these guys that you can scan and scan the barcodes of books very quickly. But you want to set up your triggers to where you're finding books that are profitable. I usually set up my triggers to where I'm finding books that are going to make me at least $5 profit so I'm not wasting my time getting books, DVDs, and CDs that are only making me $1 or $2 profit. That's just like a waste of time in my opinion. But you want to look for books that have a low sales rank. So a sales rank essentially means the rank that Amazon gives a particular book based on the velocity and how often a book sells. So the lower the rank, the higher likely that you are to be able to sell the book. So typically you want to stay under 1 million if you're out there scanning books, but it is not uncommon to find profitable books that are in 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, even 5 million rank, depending on the competition on the listing. But if you're just starting out, try to focus on those quick movers. Buy them for $1, $2, make $5, $6, $7, $10, $20 profit, so you can keep that cash flow coming back in, so you can keep churning inventory and buying more and more books. Some of the categories that I would recommend looking into are obviously textbooks can be very, very profitable. Nonfiction books are really good. Religious books, Bibles can tend to sell very, very well. Rare editions, first edition of books. Look in the inside and see if there's any signatures. But really, the only way that you're actually going to learn is actually getting out there consistently, scanning books, and just learning over time what books typically look like they would sell more and what books don't. As a rule of thumb, I would say 2 or 3 out of every 100 books that you scan are going to be profitable. So don't think you're going to go into a thrift store and just clean up and take 100, 200 books and then you're going to go home and be a millionaire. That's just not the case. Like, it's a 2% or 3% accept rate is actually really, really good. A 5%, you're over the moon. So be prepared for that. There's other booksellers out there that might sell you the dream that you're going to be making thousands of dollars right away, and that's usually just not the case. It is possible, if you put the work in, you can find a bunch of profitable books and start making money right away if you're data driven and you're very obsessed with this and you really want to learn. Sourcing your books is probably the most important part of this whole process, because you can't make money if you don't know how to actually source books in the first place. So get your Scoutly app or your Scout IQ app and get out there and start scanning books. Step number 3 would be actually listing your books to sell onto Amazon. I wouldn't recommend actually listing your books until you have, let's say, 150 to 200 books that you're ready to ship into Amazon and actually put onto the marketplace, because books tend to be naturally slower sellers compared to other products. There can be very fast selling books, but the majority of your inventory is not going to sell the day that you send it in. Sometimes it's going to take a week, a month, 2 months, 3 months, sometimes 6 months for a particular book to sell. So you want to make sure you have at least 150 to 200 books to send into Amazon, so you send that first batch in and you'll sell a few at a time. Because if you only send in like 10 books, you might sell 1 or 2 books in the whole first month that you send your first shipment in. So once you've got your books, it's time to list them. You can use the Amazon seller account to actually list your books, but I would not recommend that. You need to get a listing software. The main software that I recommend is GoToLister by my good friend Romer the Romer. It's the fastest listing software on the market. It costs around $50 a month, but it's totally worth it. Basically, to list your books and GoToLister, you just type in the ISBN, or you can use your scanner and hook it up to your laptop and scan the ISBN. You set your price, choose a condition that you think the book is in: acceptable, good, very good, like new, or new condition. By the way, tip, we don't sell new books. We only sell used books. Selling new books can be dangerous for your seller account. There are some people that I know that sell used books. I'm not talking to you guys. You guys are a little more experienced on what new books there are to sell. But if you're just beginning, just stay away from new books. Don't sell them as new. So once you actually scan the barcode into your listing software and it populates, you'll get a little F&SKU label to put on the back of the book. It looks like this. This little barcode is how the Amazon warehouse knows which book that you sent in, and how once it's sold, they can quickly get it and ship it out prime shipping to the customer. I'll make a video in the future just going over the whole listing process. It's kind of a learning curve at first, but once you get the hang of it, after 1 or 2 tries, it's pretty easy. If you guys are interested in trying out GoToLister and listing your first batch of books, you can click the link in my bio to get a 30-day free trial. So step number 4 is shipping your books. Now there's 2 ways to sell books and ship your books on Amazon. You can be a merchant fulfilled seller, or you can be an Amazon FBA seller, which means fulfillment by Amazon. So merchant fulfilled is when the book sells, you pack and ship the order yourself. FBA is you put all of your books into a box and you ship them to an Amazon warehouse. And then once the book sells, the warehouse packs and ships the book for you via Amazon Prime, and it gets to the customer faster. I sell 99% of my books and DVDs and CDs with Amazon FBA just because I like the convenience of it. I don't like to have a bunch of storage and books just laying around my house. Amazon takes care of customer service, and it gets to them prime shipping, so ultimately it gets to them faster, and oftentimes you can sell your book for higher profit margins with the Amazon Prime bump, which I can get into in other videos. But if you're getting started, I would definitely recommend think about doing Amazon FBA. There is ways to be profitable doing merchant fulfill, but I just choose not to do it unless there's a certain book where there's no sellers on the listing and I can just list the book right away as soon as I buy it. But 99% of the time, I'm putting all of my books into a box. I'm shipping them to Amazon. Once the buyer buys a particular book, Amazon ships it to them. Prime shipping. Look, I cannot talk. And like I said, you need a listing software like GoToLister to be able to list these books, put them all into a box, put labels onto the boxes, and you ship them with UPS, and it goes to Amazon's fulfillment centers to go into their storage. The last step to get started on Amazon, I would say, is tracking your numbers and optimizing your sales. I'm constantly going through my inventory, looking at books and making sure they're selling, making sure I'm having them priced correctly, making sure my repricer is working correctly, and a bunch of other ways to make sure that I am selling my books and they are not just sitting and gathering dust in my inventory. Because at the end of the day, you don't want these books sitting for over 6 months because they're going to collect long-term storage fees, and you're just not going to make money if they're just sitting there and you're not making your money back to buy more books. So GoToLister actually has a profit tracking part of the software, which I highly recommend checking out. But there's other softwares that you can look into to track your inventory, like Inventory Lab, Seller Board. You can even make your own spreadsheet to do all this. You don't actually need a software to track your profits and sales and whatnot. But I just like GoToLister because I can list all my books in the software and then I can track my profit in the same software. But once you have over, let's say, 200, 300 books in inventory, you definitely want to look into getting a repricer. What happens with Amazon is you're competing against multiple sellers on another listing, and everybody's constantly undercutting each other to get the sale. So you need a repricer like Reprice It, Be Cool, Channel Max, the Amazon Free to reprice your inventory to make sure you're staying competitive so you can ultimately get the sale, get the money to go buy more books. Again, I'm just trying to make this a very basic video. There's a lot of topics that I could go into, like repricing, how to optimize your sales, and making sure that you're competitively pricing your books, how to list your books. There's more things that I can go into, but I'm just trying to give you guys quick and easy steps to just get a grasp of how to get started. So just to recap, the 5 steps to get started would be getting an Amazon seller account, getting out there and sourcing books at thrift stores, library sales, estate sales, garage sales, Facebook Marketplace, actually listing your books on Amazon using a software like GoToLister, putting all of your books into a box and then shipping them off to Amazon, and then finally tracking and optimizing your sales through repricers, looking through your inventory, etc. And that's the basics to get started selling on Amazon in 2024 in the book category. It's not hard to start, just like anything. You get better with persistence and practice. You need to be out there scanning constantly. You need to understand the actual intrinsic value of the books that you're picking up. You need to know how to list the books and actually get them to sell. So if you found this video helpful, give this video a thumbs up, turn on those notifications, subscribe. Comment below if there's any topics that I covered here that you want me to dive in deeper, like repricing, listing, actually scanning. I want to get some more vlog style content out there of me scanning books to show you guys how I evaluate the intrinsic value of a book. So if there's anything you guys want me to cover in future videos, please comment them down below, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Get out there and get after it. Goodbye.